This is World Record Breakdown Signal. This is World Record Breakdown Signals. I am your host, the most honorable Nabinur. Teaching. I am your host, the most honorable Nabinur YouTube teaching. Please buy my book on Barnes & Noble's booksellers website titled The Ashar 10 Physical Stages of Allah God. Please buy my book upon Barnes & Noble's booksellers website titled The Ashar 10 Physical Stages of Allah God. I am the author of the book The Ashar 10 Physical Stages of Allah. I am kidnapped in United States. I am not allowed to receive ID card, social security card, or passport. I inherited the city of Montego Bay, Jamaica Island. The police brutality, the shooting of George Floyd, the shooting of Mr. Blake, the shooting of Mrs. Brianna was paid for by black people, paid for by my mother, Annette Christine Ramsey Noriega. She worked as an intervention or security chief, intervention specialist for Seattle Public Schools for some 27 years. She lives at 21818. She lives at 21818 4th Avenue South in Burien City, Washington State. She paid those police to shoot Mrs. Brianna, George Floyd, and also Mr. Blake. Multiple black people. She paid the lesbian woman to become the chairman or bloggist for Black Lives Matter. You are sleeping with your enemy. In the words of G. Khalim, the 27th messenger, the twin brother of Louis Farrakhan, in the words of the 27th messenger, we must draw it up. We must draw it up. Investigation complete with pen and paper and publicizing inside of Library of Congress. You must publish your autobiography. You have to draw it up because as his twin brother, as G. Khalim's twin brother Louis Farrakhan stated, you are sleeping with your enemy. Notice the cars driving by. Notice the cars driving by to drown out my speech. Look at the cars driving by, pretending, right? Pretending they are our allies. And each of them support Black Lives Matter. Notice the cars, notice their driver's license plate upon their car driving by, pretending they are supporters of your community of black people. Black Lives Matter is the same people who paid the police to shoot those same victims that are black. My mother and my cousins, my uncles, my aunts, my nephews and nieces live in Seattle, Washington, and they live in Jamaica. I am the oldest son of Annette Christine Ramsey, who owns the most businesses inside of Montego Bay City, Jamaica Island. So they have me kidnapped. They made me serve 14 years in murder. They made me serve 14 years for murder in Seattle, Washington. 1996, day 26, day 26, day 26, day 26 of October, 14 years for murder. And the person murdered, my baby's mother, she's not dead, she's alive, with a falsified identity. She worked at Walmart Supercenter, the biggest Walmart inside of the United States. 2015, the month of May, during the holy month of Ramadan, I saw her in person. I let her pay for my food. She was the cashier. I used a food stamp card from New Jersey City, New Jersey, with the name Nabinur, Muslim Hasib. My birth name on my birth certificate is Alphonse De Priest Noriego III. So the shootings you saw of Mr. George Floyd, the shootings you saw by the police of the black people was paid for by my mother as a diversion, a confusion diversion. So you would not concentrate that my mother, Annette Christine Ramsey Noriega, and my father, Alphonse De Priest Noriega Jr., went to Jamaica and reported me dead. They reported that I am dead. Some 1997 reported I was dead. Now they're afraid that I will reach Jamaica and say, I'm not dead. I'm not dead. I'm not dead. So they have kidnapped me and placed me in jails, falsifying crimes, falsifying arrests, falsifying hospitalizations, 302 hospitalizations, 730 mental health hospitalizations, kidnapped in Utah, in Seattle, Washington, in New York, as a diversion. So you will not know. They're billionaires. That's 54 businesses Miss Gwendolyn Lawrence, my grandmother, owned in Jamaica. 54 businesses. So they have to arrest me so I don't reach Jamaica, because they will go to prison for some 6 life sentences apiece. Marilyn Lawrence, my auntie. Marilyn Lawrence, my auntie, owns a New hair salon, falsified my death. My sister, Anisha Correa Noriega Madden, falsified my death. My sister, Anisha Correa Noriega Madden, falsified my death in Jamaica to gain my inheritance of the 54 businesses on Jamaica Island. Restaurants, dance clubs, dance halls, strip clubs, titty bar, they call it titty bar. Those are strip clubs. If you see a titty bar in Jamaica, owned by Annette Christine Ramsey Noriega, my mother. My brother, Trevon DeRay Noriega, known as Ray Ray, he faked his death. My family faked his death. Now he is their general of the Wicca witchcraft religion. My family are witches. They are the headquarters of the child trafficking, child molestation religion. My relatives, my parents, my auntie, Michelle Lawrence, her husband Leonard Piper, Leonard Piper's daughter, Asia, Floyd Kelly, also known as LC. Floyd Kelly, also known as LC, is the grandfather of my daughter, Vicar Zoe Lachey Walker. And he's a witch. He's a witch. Getting paid money. Getting paid money to sell crack cocaine and heroin to children. 14 and 15-year-old children using crystal meth near the Walmart. Floyd Kelly works at Walmart near Pacific Highway, near the H Mart Asian store, near the Jack in a Box on Pacific Highway South, inside of Federal Way, Washington location. They have my daughter Vicar, Zoe Lachey Walker, kidnapped as a diversion. She was sexually molested. She has been sexually molested by nurses and doctors inside of Children's Hospital near Sandpoint Road in Seattle, Washington. Sandpoint Road, where you see the Sentinels show up in green and shoot gun on human traffickers in the community. You see it on CNN, where the child molesters get shot. Now you will see police shooting police for free, instead of police shooting at we and arresting me for a fee. Now you will see police shooting police for free, instead of police kidnapping and arresting me in prison for a fee. I inherited some 54 businesses in Montego Bay City, Jamaica. I am so-called TJ. I am TJ, the son of Annette Christine Ramsey Noriega. Remember Georgie? Remember Georgie with the black man in Jamaica, Montego Bay City, with that green skin? His skin is green. His skin is green. How is his skin green? Because he was made in a test tube laboratory to make his skin green. To make his skin look green. Do you remember in Montego Bay City, some 1987, some 1992? You remember him? Mr. Georgie, the ex-husband of Gwendolyn Lawrence, my grandmother, the mother of the owner of Montego Bay City right now. So the white boy Raymond Halbert changed his last name to Raymond Noriega. That is my foster brother. He's a witch, a wicked witch. And they have my daughter kidnapped. Her name is Vicar. Zoe Lachey Walker, 9 years old, kidnapped, molested. And she can't read. She's not allowed to read or write. Since 2016, April. The witches like to perform a ritual to molest children and kill children and eat them and cook them and eat them if they are born in April. Do you remember my daughter that they murdered? Deeper Isha Lachey Noriega. Do you remember how my baby's mother, parents, Adrian, Ware, and my baby mother, Vanessa? Do you remember how they changed her name from Deeper Isha Lachey Noriega to Deeper Isha Lachey Ware? They murdered her 2014 upon Halloween night in Yakima City, Washington. So if you want to help me, force the senators who have survived. There are only 39 of them left. 10 of them have coronavirus. One of them named Luke, first name Luke, is dead from the coronavirus at age 41. One of them was homeless, and she took my instructions from the YouTube Nabinur teaching book publishing on how to sue a senator and become senator with signatures from the community. She was homeless 2020, and she sued him with my instructions. An amendment petition, signatures from the community attached to her lawsuit. That is how she sued the senator and took his job. He was a senator for some 20 years in the United States. Yet she took my instructions, she used my instructions righteously. That is the only one. She was a black woman. Notice how CNN News will lie to you and say they have a vaccine. Yet they don't have a vaccine that can cure coronavirus. Notice how they spent $3 trillion and lied and said they were giving you a vaccine. $3 trillion to lie and say they have a vaccine. They don't have a vaccine. They lied. Notice how Donald Trump lied and said he had the coronavirus, and he never had the coronavirus. Notice how 2 days before he lied, the White House Secretary of the Press contracted the coronavirus from someone deactivating her brain, the microchip in her brain, and just walking up to her in person and placing an inhaler full of the coronavirus to her face. Same way the senator named Wook was killed, coronavirus, by the Anunnaki angels. Black people who build flying saucers. Assalamu alaikum, malakatu. Chica, where you go? Chica. Chico. Hoopo bird. Where you at? Let him hear you. Let him hear you, mama. Let him hear your father. Hoopo bird. That means I need some food. That also means someone wake up. It depends upon how loud you say it. Talk to them, chica. Speak to the people, them chico. Poor bird, the black starling bird from Holy Quran chapter. Normal, the ants. Peace to the gods. 165135 equals peace. 165135 equals peace. 165135 equals peace. 165135 equals tranquilo. Peace, peace. Salam alaikum. Tranquilo. Allahu Akbar, Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu Allah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Shauna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Alas Lord, alas Lord, alas Lord, alas Lord, Lord. Help me get that ID. Help me get that passport. And stop IDing people at the store so they can't buy alcohol to activate their frontal lobe. Do you know my relatives, my mother and my father, paid a doctor at the Roxbury Street Clinic in 1992 to close my frontal lobe with surgery so that I can't hear my own thoughts, yet I can hear your thoughts. I can hear your thoughts with my frontal lobe instead of mine. It deactivates pain reception, yet it's a nuisance. It's a nuisance. No euphoria. I actually need alcohol. I need alcohol and marijuana just to utilize my frontal lobe because of a surgery performed upon Roxbury Street Clinic, 1992. Stop IDing us. You see an old person? You see a person who looks adult? Do you see a person who looks adult? And the senators tell you, and the store owner takes bribes to ID you and say, you can't not buy alcohol here. You cannot buy a cigar here unless you have ID. That's admission of guilt. That means you were bribed to stop that person from activating euphoria, using their frontal lobe from alcohol or tobacco. Taking bribes. That means the store owner takes bribes. To place you inside of a prison or a mental hospital. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. I'm about to triad rescue Vicar. Triad rescue Vicar. Tattooed upon my chest. I'm the best, born equality, self-saving, trust. Triad rescue Vicar. Yes. I'm the best, born equality, self-saving, trust. Trust us.